All right, welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to dive into some whiskey.
This time, we're taking a close look at the Diageo Special Releases for 2024.
Oh, yeah, these are always exciting. Lots of interesting stuff coming out of Diageo every year.
Right, for those who may not know, Diageo is one of the biggest players in the spirits world.
They've got their hands in just about every distillery you can imagine.
And these special releases, it's like their chance to showcase some hidden gems.
Unique bottlings, rare stuff, experimental whiskeys, all that good stuff.
We're going to be using a recent blog post by whiskey blogger Luca Gottschalk as our guide today.
Oh, Luca knows his whiskey. He's got a great palate.
He really does, so shout out to Luca for all his hard work tasting all these whiskeys.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it, right?
For us, so we don't have to buy every single bottle.
Exactly.
Although I'm sure plenty of you out there will be tempted after we talk about some of these.
Oh, I guarantee it. This is a good lineup this year.
All right, well, let's jump right in. First up, we have the Mortlach Midnight Dusk.
Oh, Mortlach. Always a good one to start with. Big, bold flavors.
This one is bottled at a hefty 57.5% ABV.
No messing around with this one.
And no age statement either seems to be a trend with these special releases lately.
Yeah, moving away from age statements and more toward unique cask combinations.
Which is definitely the case with this Mortlach. We've got a combination of Remondolo white wine casks and Sangiovese red wine casks.
Wow, that's a pretty unique combo. You don't see that every day.
So it makes you wonder, is this a sign of where the industry is heading? Less emphasis on age and more on these experimental maturations?
I think it's definitely a trend. You see more and more distilleries playing with different cask types these days, especially wine casks.
It's almost like they're trying to achieve that complexity of an older whiskey in a shorter time frame, right?
Exactly, using the influence of the casks to speed up the development of those rich flavors.
And Luca describes this Mortlach as having notes of blackberry, marzipan, even a touch of roasted coffee.
Oh, and he picked up on a hint of BBQ as well.
BBQ. That's interesting.
Yeah, quite a complex dram, he said. Combines the intensity of a young whiskey with the depth you'd expect from an older one.
But all that complexity comes at a price, of course. This Mortlach isn't cheap.
True. These special releases are definitely aimed at the more serious whiskey enthusiast.
All right, let's move on to our next dram, the Roseisle 12-year-old, the Origami Kite 2.
Roseisle. Now, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, this is the second release from Diageo's relatively new super distillery, Roseisle.
Which was purpose-built to produce a wide range of whiskeys, specifically for blends.
So you might be wondering, why release a single malt then?
Well, it's a clever way for Diageo to showcase the quality and versatility of the whiskey that goes into their blends.
It's like giving people a peek behind the curtain.
Exactly, showing them what Roseisle is capable of.
And this one is primarily matured in ex-bourbon casks. Luca got lots of fresh fruit notes from this one.
Light bread, green apples, a bit of pineapple, even some vanilla sugar and whipped cream.
He also mentioned a recurring hazelnut cream note that was present in last year's Origami Kite release.
Oh, interesting. So a bit of continuity there.
Now, Luca did say that this whiskey benefits from some time to open up in the glass.
Yeah, sometimes you got to let those subtle flavors emerge.
Makes you wonder, though, for those who have last year's release, is this year's worth getting?
That's the collector's dilemma, isn't it? To drink or to hoard.
I guess it depends on how much you enjoy exploring those subtle nuances.
Exactly. Some people love chasing those tiny differences.
All right, up next we have the Singleton of Glen Ord 14-year-old Autumn Walk.
Oh, the name itself just sounds cozy.
I know, right? Perfect for those chilly autumn evening.
And the packaging is all autumnal colors, leaves, and such.
This one was matured in a combination of first fill bourbon and European oak casks.
That bourbon influence is going to make out some nice sweetness.
And Luca found a whole bunch of delicious dessert-like flavors in this one.
Vanilla ice cream,
Yeah.
honeydew melon, pear, banana, even salted caramel fudge.
It's like a dessert buffet in a bottle.
He also picked up on some of those classic Glen Ord notes, pastry cream, green grapes, that light yeasty sweetness.
But I have to say, reading those tasting notes, this whiskey sounds like it would be just as enjoyable on a warm summer evening.
I agree. Sometimes those autumnal whiskeys are great any time of year.
All right, now for a whiskey that I think is going to surprise a lot of people, the Caol Ila 11-year-old Ambrosial Feast.
Caol Ila, now we're talking.
But here's the twist. This one is non-peated.
Wait, what? Non-peated Caol Ila.
You heard that right. This is a rare treat for Islay whiskey fans, especially those who are used to Caol Ila's signature smoky character.
I mean, it's almost unheard of to find a non-peated Caol Ila, let alone in Diageo Special Releases.
And with a name like Ambrosial Feast, They're setting some high expectations.
So did it live up to the hype? What did Luca think?
Well, he described it as having a raw, ashy quality, which is interesting considering there's no peat involved.
Huh. So even without the peat, there's still some of that Islay character shining through.
Exactly. He's also found licorice, tobacco leaves, rye bread, even a hint of peach.
Peach in a Caol Ila. That's wild.
Right. It makes you wonder, would you even be able to tell it was a Caol Ila without the peat?
That's a good question. It'll be a fun experiment to do a blind tasting.
But it does go to show you that even without the peat, there's still a lot of complexity and nuance to Caol Ila.
It's all about that maritime influence, the distillery's location on Islay, exposed to those salty sea breezes.
Kind of reminds me of Bruce Laddish's classic Laddie, another non-peated Islay whiskey.
Oh yeah, good comparison.
Yeah.
Both showcasing that unpeated side of Islay.
All right, let's keep this Islay journey going and head over to the Isle of Skye for the Talisker 8-year-old title churn.
Talisker, always a powerhouse.
You know what to expect with Talisker, right? Big, bold, maritime flavors.
Yeah, this one definitely lives up to that reputation.
But what makes this release interesting is the unique maturation process. Some of the casks were scoured using rotating stone wheels.
Wait, stone wheels? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you heard that right. They basically used giant stone wheels to sand down the inside of the casks before filling them with the whiskey.
Huh, that's pretty crazy. I've never heard of that before.
The idea is to expose fresh layers of wood, allowing for more interaction between the whiskey and the oak.
So it's like an accelerated form of cask finishing almost.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if this technique catches on with other distilleries.
So what did Luca think of this stone-spun Talisker?
Well, he found all those classic Talisker notes: bonfire smoke, milk chocolate, pear, lemon, a touch of toasted oak.
And how was the mouthfeel?
Fresh, maritime, slightly sharp, as you'd expect from a younger Talisker.
That's good to hear. Sometimes those younger whiskeys can be a bit too hot.
But the question remains, does this stone spinning technique really make a noticeable difference?
Or is it just a marketing gimmick?
I'm a little skeptical, to be honest. But hey, it's definitely a talking point.
It is, and it plays into that whole Talisker image, rugged, untamed.
All right, let's head back to the mainland now and explore the Oban 10-year-old coastal orchard.
Oban, another classic.
Their distillery is situated right on the coast, so they really lean into that maritime influence.
And the name Coastal Orchard definitely evokes that sense of place.
This one was aged in a combination of older American oak and Oloroso sherry casks.
Oh, Oloroso sherry. That'll add some nice richness and spice.
But Luca noted that the sherry influence is actually quite subtle in this one.
Interesting. Maybe those sherry casks were a bit tired.
He described it as having notes of grapefruit, blood orange, licorice powder,
And on the palate.
sharp, bitter, maritime, sour fruit, white pepper, sea salt, just a touch of honey sweetness.
So still very much an Oban, but maybe not as sherry forward as some might expect.
Exactly. Luca actually found this one to be a bit underwhelming compared to some of the other releases.
Oh, that's a shame. But even a slightly underwhelming Oban is probably still a decent dram.
All right, now for the whiskey I think a lot of people have been waiting for. The Lagavulin 12-year-old Fireside Tales.
Lagavulin, the king of peat.
Even the name just makes you want to curl up by the fire with a glass.
And this one seems to deliver on that classic Lagavulin experience.
Matured in a combination of first fill ex-bourbon and refill casks.
No fancy stone wheels or anything like that, just good old-fashioned Lagavulin.
And Luca found all the classic notes you'd expect: heavy peat smoke, smoked bacon, salted licorice.
Peppermint, pepper candies, toasted oak, menthol, even some thyme.
It's a full-on Islay sensory explosion.
And, there were some rumors going around that this release might be less peaty than usual.
But Luca said that's definitely not the case. This Lagavulin delivers the peat smoke in spades.
Good to hear. You don't want to water down Lagavulin.
And finally, we come to the grand finale, the oldest and most expensive whiskey in the lineup, the Benrinnes 21-year-old Grand Crescendo.
Benrinnes, now that's a special treat.
21 years old, that's a long time for a whiskey to mature.
Plenty of time to develop some incredible complexity.
This one spent its time in a combination of American and European oak casks.
Oh, that's a recipe for a rich and layered dram.
And Luca's tasting notes read like a symphony of flavors. Chocolate brownies, burnt almonds, raisins, orange.
On the palate.
Smooth, mature, cake-like notes, browned butter, roasted nuts, apricot, kiwi, even a touch of umami from the wine casks.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
It sounds absolutely decadent.
It does. And it really speaks to how beautifully Benrinnes ages, developing those complex, well-integrated flavors.
This is definitely a whiskey for sipping and savoring.
No doubt about it. But it comes with a hefty price tag, of course.
That's true. This one is an investment for sure.
But for those who appreciate the finer things in life, it might just be worth it.
All right, so there you have it, folks. We've explored the highs and lows of Diageo's special releases for 2024.
Quite a journey.
But our deep dive isn't over yet. Stay tuned as we unpack some of the broader trends and implications of these releases.
And what they mean for the future of whiskey.
It's really striking, going through these releases, just how much Diageo is experimenting.
Yeah, you see with a lot of distilleries these days.
Yeah.
But Diageo is really pushing the envelope.
Like that non-peated Caol Ila, who would have thought?
Right. And those stone-spun Talisker casks, that's just wild.
It makes you wonder, what's driving all this experimentation in the whiskey world?
I think part of it is just the demand for something new, something different.
Especially among those who are already into whiskey, they're always looking for the next big thing.
Exactly. They want to be surprised. They want to try something they've never tasted before.
And Diageo is definitely catering to that crowd with these special releases.
But it's not just Diageo. It's happening all over the industry.
You see more and more distilleries experimenting with different cask types, different finishes, different techniques.
It's like they're all trying to outdo each other, which is great for us, the drinkers.
More variety, more choices, more chances to discover something amazing.
Exactly. And it's not just about appealing to the seasoned whiskey enthusiast either.
I think these experimental releases also help to bring new people into the fold.
Like that non-peated Caol Ila. That might be someone's first foray into Islay whiskey.
Right, someone who might be intimidated by the heavy peat smoke of the traditional expressions.
This gives them a chance to experience the other side of Islay, the more subtle, nuanced flavors.
It's like the gateway drug to peated whiskey.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe they'll end up loving the peaty stuff too.
But even for those of us who are already familiar with Islay, these experimental releases keep things interesting.
They challenge our palates, make us rethink our preconceived notions about certain distilleries.
Like, I never would have thought I'd enjoy a non-peated Caol Ila, but it was actually quite good.
It's all about expanding our horizons, pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones.
Speaking of comfort zones, let's talk about that Talisker and those stone-spun casks.
Yeah, I'm still a bit skeptical about that one.
Me too. It sounds a bit gimmicky, but hey, if it works, it works.
And you have to admit, it's a clever marketing ploy.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely gotten people talking.
But, there might be something to it, this idea of using those stone wheels to expose more of the wood to the whiskey.
It's like a more aggressive form of cask finishing, right?
Exactly. Instead of just using a different cask for the final few months or years, they're actually manipulating the cask itself.
So whether or not it's a gimmick, it's definitely a sign of the times.
Distilleries are getting more creative, more experimental, and I think that's a good thing.
It keeps things fresh, it keeps things exciting.
And who knows what they'll come up with next. The possibilities are endless.
Maybe we'll see whiskey aged in casks that have been launched into space.
Now, that would be something.
But in all seriousness, it's a great time to be a whiskey drinker.
We're witnessing a real evolution in the industry, a blending of tradition and innovation.
And it's resulting in some truly amazing whiskeys.
It's not just about the liquid in the bottle either. It's about the whole experience.
The stories behind the whiskeys, the craftsmanship, the passion that goes into making them.
It's like each bottle is a little piece of history, a little work of art.
And with these special releases, Diageo is giving us a glimpse into the future of whiskey.
They're pushing the boundaries, challenging our expectations, and showing us what's possible.
So for you, the listener, these special releases are more than just a chance to try some rare and unique whiskeys.
They're an opportunity to connect with the history, the artistry, the evolution of this amazing spirit.
And they're a reminder that there's always something new to discover in the world of whiskey.
So keep exploring, keep tasting, and keep an open mind.
Now, before we get too philosophical here, let's bring it back down to earth and talk about Luca's reviews.
Right, he's the one who actually tasted all these whiskeys, and his notes are really insightful.
You can find a link to his blog on our website, so be sure to check it out if you want to learn more.
He goes into a lot more detail about each whiskey than we can here.
Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a final thought to ponder.
We've talked a lot about innovation and experimentation, but we've also seen some examples of distilleries sticking to tradition.
Like that Lagavulin 12-year, it's a classic, made the traditional way, and still one of the most sought-after whiskeys out there.
I think there will always be a place for those classic expressions. Yeah, the ones that have stood the test of time.
Yeah, they represent that connection to the past, a sense of heritage.
And for a lot of people, that's what they're looking for in a whiskey, that sense of tradition.
But at the same time, you can't deny the excitement around all this experimentation
Oh, absolutely. It's pushing the boundaries of what whiskey can be.
and introducing new flavors and experiences that we never even imagined before.
Like that non-peated Caol Ila. It's really challenging our definition of what an Islay whiskey should be.
And that's what makes this such a dynamic time for whiskey. You've got this blend of tradition and innovation.
It's like the whiskey world is at a crossroads right now.
And it's exciting to see where it goes from here.
So if you're a whiskey enthusiast out there,
Whether you're a seasoned connoisseur or just starting your journey,
there's never been a better time to explore the world of whiskey.
there's truly something out there for everyone.
From the classic expressions to the most innovative new releases,
So raise a glass with us, listeners.
as we toast to the past, present, and future of whiskey.
And a big thank you to Luca Gottschalk for his insights on these Diageo Special Releases.
Be sure to check out his blog for more in-depth reviews.
You can find a link on our website.
And until next time, happy dremming, everybody.
Cheers!